Where there's bait fish, there'll always be predators from above and below. When you find the bait, you'll find the fish. Huge schools of herring feed on microinvertebrates in the fertile water. The herring schools usually stay close to the bottom, but packs of trevally, sharks and other predators cut away sections of the bait schools and drive them to the surface. Here they're trapped and pushed into what fishermen call a bait ball, a dense school of sardines. Frigate birds, with their fantastic eyesight, are the most reliable indicator of where the predators and bait are. In the morning, the bait schools were deep. They were marked on the sounder at 10 to 20 metres, so we opted to use fast-sinking lines to get our flies into the zone. We're pulled up in the middle of nowhere. There's massive schools of bait showing up on the sounder, and a couple of streaks there that Alan thought might be mackerel. Using very fast sinking lines in about 70 feet of water and just sinking them down into the bait balls that we can see on the sounder. And I've hooked up something. I don't think it's too big. First run was okay, but it seems to have settled down a bit. Here it goes again. Might be all right. I'm not going to hazard calling a species yet. Narrow-barred or Spanish mackerel usually appear in this area in the milder winter months. They're a very popular fish that can be caught using all the usual fishing techniques, but especially jigging and fly fishing. Gotta be a mackerel, Alan. Nothing else in these waters goes that fast, does it? Really only be a mac. Fish goes under the boat, don't panic. Fly rods are 9 feet long, just get the fly rod right down under the boat. You can bring it back from there, or you can just follow it around. What you don't want to do is have the rod hit against the gunnel of the boat, the sharp gunnel of the boat. It is a mackerel. Good call, Al, and a good one. I'll bring it to you. Wonderful. Right in the corner of the jaw. Look at that. In this part of the world, using a wire bite tippet is advised, especially in mackerel season. The best or only way to connect single strand wire to anything is with what we call a Haywire twist and a barrel roll. Now leave yourself a bit of a tag to work with. You start with them at 45 degrees and you wrap the tag end and the standing part together with a twist. Okay, you see how I pinched them with my thumb and forefingers, twisted them together about 6 turns. Then you turn the tag end at 90 degrees to the standing part and you wrap that around the standing part. That's the bit that's called the barrel roll. The first bit is the Haywire twist and then the barrel roll. Then to get rid of the tag end, you just form a little crank handle, bend it back and forth a few times, and metal fatigue will snap it off. Whatever you do, don't drop this on the deck because it will stick into someone and really hurt them. Dispose of it thoughtfully, put it in the bin, and take it home with you. That's it. Beautiful finish. Got a loop there for the fly to swim freely on. On the sink? Yep. So the idea that fly fishing is just about shallow water and structure and surface fish is completely wrong. When you start to use this really fast sinking line technology, you can get flies down deep very, very quickly. Very, very effective method. One of the things I love about it is it's such a lottery. You just never know what's going to grab the fly next, particularly around bait schools. Over deep reef country as well. You know, it's a mystery. You bomb a fly down into there, put a bit of burley into the water, get a fly down 40, 50, 60 feet, and you just never know what's going to grab it. And as much as I love sight fishing, I enjoy this almost as much. Simply for that mystery. Just don't know what's going to grab the fly next. Send it down again. Good fish, Al.
Thanks, mate. He did take a couple of nice runs.
Yeah, that's much bigger than our average, isn't it? I'm going to get some photos of that.
Okay.
It's nice and fresh. Let's go. Okay, bring its head towards me. Nice, nice. That'll do, mate. Thank you. There's a fish. There's. Oh, yeah. Yep. Coming right at me. The technique for getting down deep to these fish is to not dump a whole lot of line on the water. You've got to be in contact with the fly as it sinks. Now that fly just then was sinking down into the zone where the fish are being marked on the sounder, but I was staying in touch with it, just shaking a little bit of slack off the end of the line, but staying in touch with the fly as it sinks, because a fish is going to pick it up as it goes down. They also pick them up on the retrieve, but the beauty of this kind of fishing is that they can pick it up at any point. Now this fly line is 100 feet long, and I've got the whole 100 feet stripped out on the deck. The water is 70 feet deep, but allowing for a bit of drift. I'm going to have a bit of angle on it. Just pick up this slack here. I'm going to have a little bit of angle on it, but you must stay in touch with the fly as it sinks, because a fish can pick it up and spit it out, you know, in the blink of an eye. And you want to be able to feel that pickup. And if you have any slack in the system, like if you're just dumping feet and feet of line into the water and letting it sink, you're not going to feel that pickup. That time the fly was just sinking dead, and a fish picked it up on the way down, and because I was tight to the fly, but I was letting it sink, I felt the pickup and managed to set the hook. You want to get that for me, Al? Thanks, mate. Yep, another trevally.
They're pretty hard. They roll a lot when you grab hold of them, eh? They're very hard to get in the boat.
Right.
There you go.
Oh, muscly little thing.
They're definitely in with the bait schools most of the time. Whenever you find that bait, you'll find the covias with them.
And they're just part of that sort of glad bag of species you catch bombing flies down around the bait, aren't they?
Yeah, well, you just never know what you're going to come up with next, do you?
Yeah.
And that's half the fun of it, I guess. It's,
Yeah.
There's a lucky dip, sort of.
That's great fun. All right, back you go.
Yeah, I cast downwind then, and as the line came past the boat there, it got picked up. Luckily I was tight to the fly. It seems like a pretty nice fish here. It is a nice mackerel. Yep. A few Spaniards here in amongst this bait fish, and there's a lot of bait marking there now.
I'll land that for you.
That'd be nice, thanks mate.
Is there a different size limit on these in the Gulf, Al?
70 centimetres. Spanish mackerel.
The tackle, techniques and flies we were using were working very well. Mackerel are an excellent eating fish. We kept a few for the table and returned the rest to the water.